Earl Grey. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. So, I was going through my email today, and then I went and I checked an old video because it seems to be getting a lot of hits again. And I had received a comment recently of a type that I get a lot that said something to the effect of, "Dude, what are you so afraid of, man? Quit living your life in fear. You got to actually get out there and experience life." And, I've had in the past people say to me, like when they found out that I carry a firearm, dude, what are you afraid of? Absolutely nothing. And there are people out there that equate awareness and preparedness with fear and paranoia. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Fear, living in fear, is a bad thing. Fear, every now and then, though, serves a purpose, right? It energizes your body. It's the adrenal dump that gets you ready to fight or flight. But you cannot live in that state. That would be horribly unhealthy for somebody to do that psychologically, physically, physiologically, everything. But imagine this. You're at Yellowstone. I've never been to Yellowstone, but I've seen enough videos and movies and, stuff. You're at Yellowstone National Park. You're driving through the rush hour traffic to look at something, and you see a little creek, and you decide you're going to get out of your car and go down to the creek. And so you're traipsing down to the creek. It's a beautiful day, and you kind of come around a corner of the creek, and there's a mama grizzly bear and two cubs. At this point, you could be like, "Oh, life is good. Look at the cuddly little bear. Oh, it's so beautiful. Honey, get that camera." And some people do. Because they're enjoying life and they're living life, right? Why should you live your life in fear? Why should you worry about being aware of the bear? But the reality is, being in the vicinity of a mama grizzly bear when she's with her cubs is extremely dangerous, whether it's a beautiful day and you're in a great mood or not. It's a potentially extremely dangerous situation. It's a potentially deadly situation. And so being aware of that can help save your life. Why do you want to save your life if you're a Christian pastor? Don't you trust God? Of course I trust the Father. He has a plan for me. And right now, as it stands right now, one of those plans is for me to use the God-given sense that He gave me to stay out of the way of a mama bear with some cubs. To slowly back away, to get out of that situation or to prepare for battle. Right? There's probably a little bit of fear involved at that moment. I submit to you that's a good thing. Now, living your life, driving, let's say you walk away and you get away and you're in your car and you're driving back to your motel or whatever, being in fear then, not good. Driving home to Massachusetts down, I-80 or whatever, being fearful of everything, no, that's not good. But there is a time and place for fear. And there is a time and a place for awareness, and I submit to you the time and the place for awareness is at all times. So, let's talk about, because there's another thing going on. I think a lot of people are actually starting to wake up, and they're starting to realize that their little precious snowflake fantasy of life is about to come to a crashing end, and they don't like it, and they're actually afraid, and then they're taking that fear and they're putting it onto people like me and saying, "I'm living in fear." As the guy who kind of precipitated, or gal, who precipitated this video today. Why are you living your life in fear? Why don't you just go out and live life? Well, let me tell you about living life. Last night, I was gathered with friends and loved ones, and it was Mexican night, right? And we had a barbecue, a fire deck. We were all sitting out on a deck, having Mexican food, enjoying some adult beverages, talking about the Word, talking about life, talking about things, playing with some toys. This morning, I woke up surrounded by family and friends and loved ones to the sounds of nature, birds twittering and tweet, 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 and the wind blowing in the trees, as I do every day. I went through my email on my phone, which I told you about. I made myself a cup of coffee. I stretched. I took a walk down a cobbled path through the woods, just observing and enjoying what the Father has created for me. I stretched and I started thinking about my day. Today, my wife and I and some brethren are going to build a fire lay, because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. We have a big bonfire planned for tomorrow. So we're going to build the lay today together, put a tarp over it so it's ready to go tomorrow. We're staying in a camper trailer right now that leaks, and so we're going to get up on the roof and kind of deal with that a little bit, temporary fix for that. Surrounded by friends and family and love and life. And that's how I live my life. I'm not hiding in a bunker. We're not hiding in bunkers. We're not excluded, isolated from the world out here. We get into the world. Matter of fact, we were just in the world, 2 days ago doing some shopping, talking to people. And so we're not living in fear. We're enjoying life. I believe we're sucking the marrow out of life. You know what sucked the life out of me? When I had to work in a cubicle for 8 to 10 hours a day. Oh, Lord. So I'm not doing that. I'm not afraid. I am enjoying life. As I submit, you should be also. And if you're not enjoying your life, you need to make some significant changes soon. I can enjoy life, and you can too, and still see clearly what is coming down the pike. Very large chance we are going to war with Russia. Have you seen the latest on what's going on Diego Garcia? I read that report. That report smacked of, reality. It smacked like a real report to me. You can find it. Google Diego Garcia filling up with airplanes. We're filling up Diego Garcia, a little island in the ocean off of Africa, with airplanes unlike we've ever done before. It's a staging base for bombing of something. There's all kinds of buildup stuff going on. I don't want to go there now, but I'm aware of it, and you should be too. And as we get closer to that precipice, one little thing, one way or the other, and that whole dominoes is going to fall one way or another, and we're going to be at war with Russia. And I tell you, the chances are high that it will go nuclear. Is it going to go nuclear? I don't know. But we are going to war, almost guaranteed. And if we don't, awesome. But I'm aware of it. The Shofarians are aware of it. We're taking steps to get ready for a war if it comes. And we'll have a video to that effect coming out pretty soon that you can do too, steps you can do. But you can go along blissfully walking down the stream and seeing the big bear and just going, oh, what a pretty bear, nothing's going to happen, and end up being bear poop. That can happen. That's cool. And if you're good with that, go on with your bad self. Have a happy life. It'll just be short. Or you can live life. And there's another whole concept there about living life versus living in fear. I would never recommend you build some underground bomb shelter and then actually move into it. Ugh. But I still recommend to everyone that you get out of those cities, you get out of those highly populated areas, you move out into the countryside where there's less population, a lower population density, start growing your own food, be surrounded by people who grow their own food, who do things their own way, for themselves, more self-sufficient in attitude and action. Because if and when this whole thing goes poof, whether it's economic, natural causes, war, or, EMP or something else, and I have a video coming out on EMP pretty soon, being around people who kind of are used to taking care of themselves to a large degree is going to be better than standing around and being surrounded by a bunch of gimme-dats who all they want is just the government to come take care of them. And let me tell you something, in a big disaster like that, you know who the government's taking care of first? The government. Continuity of government. They are going to ensure they remain in power. Is that fear? No. That's just reality. That's just looking at things how they are, not how I want them to be. You know what I want? I want to live probably on a lovely beach where it's 72 degrees every day, maybe warms up to about 85 in the afternoon, and bounce my great-grandchildren on my knee while I sip a couple Mai Tais. That would be cool. Wishing won't make that so. Living out here is pretty cool. We're liking it. We had a conversation yesterday because most of the people we hang out with, matter of fact, all of the people, all of the Shofarians, aren't from around here. We've all moved here from other places. And to a man, woman, we are happy we did. We're not fearful. We're not biting our nails and going, oh God, the Russians are going to attack. We're going, the Russians are going to attack. What maybe steps do we want to take? Live your life, be happy, be aware, be prepared, get real. All right. Hey, do the best you can with what you got where you're at, and I will see you out there.